I didn't know she played guitar. Ah, they love her, don't they? She's got so much control. Wow. Wagwan people thems. We can still say Happy New Year for the first like week, right? So I'm gonna keep saying Happy New Year. It's like, you know, when you're at work and like I think for like the first, at least the first 14 days, it's still very much, and have a Happy New Year to you. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm doing basically. So yeah, Happy New Year everybody. Happy 2025. I'm hoping that everyone had a great festive break. I know I definitely did. I did do a reaction. My first reaction actually was like a recap of 2024. Well, I say it was a recap of like pop culture moments, but it just showed me how much, like, even though I've got a reaction channel, yeah, like just how far removed I am from like certain things. So there's certain people in that video I didn't even know who they were. So anyway, that's that video. So go and check that out if you want to. There were definitely some funny things in there. To be fair, there were some very, very, very like, I can't believe you said that. But still, it's still quite entertaining. But this video, this one is for my Patreon member. This is for JJ. Happy New Year! And I said to everyone in my Patreon, this is like, right, okay. I was like, a Happy New Year, like, treat people. Just send me what you'd like me to react to. Because usually I just pick people's names out of the hat. And I was adamant that this was going to be a Prince reaction. Like I didn't even blink twice about it. But it's not a Prince reaction. Actually, it's not. It is Miss Sinead O'Connor. Now, the last Sinead O'Connor reaction that I did was the Foggy Dew. That's it, the Foggy Dew, and it actually proved to be quite controversial. Not controversial, but because I didn't obviously research the song or anything like that, because I don't often do that. I just like to react. So what's my first kind of reaction to what it is I'm seeing? And I think actually it was JJ that recommended that as well, actually, because I think that was for like a Mother's Day. I was like, oh, you know, what song reminds you of like mothers and mother, like in your like growing up and your mums and that kind of stuff. And that was the one I think that JJ, I think that you gave me. But I think since like reading a lot of the comments and stuff and understanding that actually there was quite a lot of, you know, it's not just a folksy song that has this real like, you know, kind of folksy element to it. Like there's a real tragic story behind that, like and a tragic history as well. Um, and yeah, it was just really interesting to kind of like just get a lot of the, I guess, the feedback from people that had watched the video and also knew a lot about the history of all of that as well. So again, another reason why I love this channel, man, because every day is a school day, like every day. So I love that. So I don't know what this song from Sinead O'Connor is going to be about, but I'm going to read out what JJ said. So I'm going to shock the world and go with a non-Prince request since I don't want to disrupt the chronology. Plus, I'm excited to see your reaction to this one. So this is the last day of our acquaintance. I'm really excited because the last Sinead O'Connor one that I did, well, the one before Foggy Dew, which is Nothing Compares to You. Even though she was older, and a lot of people have said in the comments that, you know, this performance wasn't it. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, I really did. Like, I mean, I love the song anyway. It's a Prince song. And it was just good to see her. Like, if that makes sense. So I'm just, yeah, anything Sinead O'Connor, I'm just intrigued to see what it's about. So let's waste no more time and let's dive straight on in. This is the last day of our acquaintance. Don't know why this looks so big. If I just, yeah, it's better. Sorry, that just looks really huge in comparison to my face. So why does that look so big? Okay, Oh, it's 6 minutes long. That's juicy. This is live in Rotterdam. Rotterdam or anywhere, Liverpool or Rome. As loud as it can go. I didn't know she played guitar. Ah, they love her, don't they? She's got so much control. Wow. I really like her phrasing as well. The way she said plain then.
There just seemed so much more that I don't know what happened to love.
And people sing in the background. So tender.
And we will meet later to finalize the fucking detail.
giving like proper 90s vibes. Woo! Yeah, man. Come through, Miss O'Connor. All right, then. I'm going to just bring up the lyrics because there was some of that I didn't get when she went into like, the second bit. This is the last day of our acquaintance. I'll meet you later in somebody's office. Okay, so before I dive into the lyrics, I think just in terms of like how the song was, I feel like that kind of the first three quarters of that, where it was just her, a microphone, and the guitar, it was so raw and tender. And when I kept saying that, like her control, like I think like as the song goes on and stuff, I think like you're allowed a little bit more artistic license with your phrasing, and you're allowed a bit more freedom. I think in order to convey the feeling of being within that kind of concert arena. Do you know what I mean? Or a very intimate looking concert arena anyway. I think you're able to kind of I don't know whether I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know whether the recorded version on the album sounds exactly like how that did. But I think in the first three quarters of that, there was so much kind of like control, particularly when she was like almost breathing the words and stuff, like just so like clear, like and able to hold those notes and stuff. And like I said, I think her like phraseology was also really interesting, like how she says certain things. So therefore, and that really does shape. I mean, I know it probably sounds like I'm being quite artsy fartsy when I'm saying this, but it really does kind of shape like how it hits your ear, and therefore like the sentiment and the feeling with the music and stuff as well. So someone's phrasing, I think, is really important. But the kind of gist of the song that I got was very much like there is a breakup happening here, yeah. Like you've taken me for granted. Like I've now got to the point of understanding that we are gonna part ways, but I'm just letting you know that like I know what you're about to let go. That's the kind of vibe that I got from it. When it's like you're on your way now, like be on your way, like it's absolutely fine. And I suppose the last part of that was almost like it felt like I don't know, again a bit of a journey, because like the first bit was almost like sorrow and sadness, but that last bit with the band when they came in with all the riffing and the guitars and everything else, it felt almost like the rebellious part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like yeah, we will meet one day again in that office, yeah, in the office above the clouds. But when we do, understand that like I know that we're done. That's the kind of vibe that I got from that. And as I said, the sound of it was giving like, as I said, that kind of 90s bittersweet symphony that's like that era of music. I mean, I could be wrong. Like I don't know when it was made, but yeah. So those are my initial thoughts about the song, the sound. I just want to make sure that I understand exactly what the lyrics are saying. I didn't get that completely wrong. So this is the last day of our acquaintance. I will meet you later in somebody's office. I'll talk, but you won't listen to me. I know what your answer will be. I know you don't love me anymore. You used to hold my hand when the plane took off. Now, as someone that is a nervous flyer, you don't understand how important that is, like, because sometimes, yeah, like, I mean, obviously not a stranger. I don't know you, sir, but, you used to hold my hand when the plane took off. Now, you're not really that fussed. So, her being like, it's going to be the last time that we're going to be in company with each other. I'll meet you later in somebody's office. I'm thinking the office in the sky. I'll talk, but you won't listen to me. I know what your answer will be. So, it kind of feels, again, from that point that she would potentially bargain, but she knows already that what the other person's answer is going to be, so she's not going to bother. And she knows that they don't love them anymore because of the fact that the whole holding hand thing. 2 years ago, there just seemed so much more, and I don't know what happened to our love. I mean, that's going to be the worst, right? Because if you don't know what's happened, because I always think it cannot be a surprise, and I know it is a surprise to some people, but like it just cannot be a surprise. Like when you start to notice that things are different, it might not be that you understand why. I mean, so I get that really, but it cannot be a surprise. And I guess she's not saying it is a surprise because she is saying that, look, you know, I know you're not gonna listen to me. I know you don't love me anymore. You don't do the little things like you used to. I guess what she's saying is I don't know why. What happened? Yeah, so it's not really a surprise. So yeah, okay, fair enough. Days and day. Interesting. Days and day. Our friendship has been stale, and we will meet later to finalize the details. So I wonder if this is like a divorce then, rather than just being like a breakdown, because obviously we'll meet in somebody's office, to finalize the details and stuff. Our friendship has been stale. I mean, that's gotta be. I mean, that's the crux of any relationship, isn't it? I mean, if your friendship is has just sucked out and dry, you haven't really got anything to work with. 2 years ago, the seed was planted, and since then, you've taken me for granted. So something's obviously happened to make that begin to sprout. Because ultimately, as well, I always think that when you start to think these things, unless something drastic happens to kind of circumvent that thinking, that seed will just continue to grow. Have you ever had that? Like, and it might not just be in like a romantic sense. It might even be like, so sometimes, right? Say if I'm reacting to something and it's really late. I know this is complete like I don't know if it's even like a relatable example, but sometimes if like I'm really tight, like I'll be reacting to something quite late, and in my head I'll be like, I hope I don't start to feel tired soon. Cause I start to feel tired soon, like I'm gonna be yawning, and I don't want to like. But because I've thought about, I hope that I don't get tired soon. It's almost like that then starts to be. I start to feel like I'm tired. Does that make sense? So I can imagine that if you're like in a situation where you're like, I don't know whether I'm happy in this situation because of whatever reason might be. Like it might even be that just the acknowledgement of that feeling can also make that feeling grow even more. But then I suppose you can't do anything about it unless you acknowledge it, can you? So you have to at some point acknowledge how you're feeling. But it's just interesting. Like seed grew, or the seed was planted 2 years ago, and since then you've taken me for granted. But this is the last day of our acquaintance. I'll meet you later in somebody's office. I'll talk. You won't listen to me, and I know you answer already. This is the last day of our acquaintance. Those O's as well were very like. I used the word Gaelic before, and people kind of jumped down my throat. But I mean like just very. I don't know. It's very authentic sounding. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard to kind of distinguish or to even really try and like articulate what that is, aside from just feeling what she was feeling when she was doing those O's. I'll meet you later in somebody's. Oh, and it's just a repeat of. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I mean, wow. I mean, the thing is, if someone did make this song about a separation, a divorce, or whatever, at least you'd know that they cared. Because even as much as like you may have moved on or you may not love this person anymore, like to put a song like this together, which has got elements of like element in there as well, like you know you can never look at this and be like, oh well, this person didn't care about me. And it was released in 1990. See, my ears do not lie. But yeah, like it's definitely a very impassioned song, and I suppose it's one that we can all relate to. Because even if you've never been divorced, like you know, you could, I believe that the majority of us would have at least been in a relationship. So you know, to kind of be like the last day of our acquaintance, the last day of us, you know, being in a similar space, and for me to kind of just let you know how I feel. Do you know what I mean? Like you took me for granted, man, and our friend. And to be fair, we don't really know what happened. We don't really know why it began to grow stale. So we don't know whether it was something that, you know, that Sinead was doing, or the person that she's, you know, telling the story about was doing. All we do know is that like it's now over. So I think that's a really awesome embodiment of that kind of journey. So yes, JJ, that was cool, man. And again, a song I would never have come across. Like I would never have come across this. So yeah, man, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'd love to know what you guys thought of this as well. Like, is this a song that you recall that you've never heard before either? Do you align with my interpretation of what I think the song's about? Or have I completely missed the mark? Yeah, either way, let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy this, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. Thank you so much. And if you do want access to my reactions before they come to YouTube, then please do head over to my Patreon, which is a great way to help support the channel, and it's a great way to connect with me more as well. So if you do want to, and I do talk a lot, so if you do want to talk with me more, then that's probably the best way to do that. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.